Hello, my loves, and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. If we're meeting for the first time, welcome. And for those of you that are old friends and family, welcome back. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be diving into the energy of this week. Somehow, some way, the universe, our angels, our guides, and our ancestors has a very specific, intentional way of drawing us to the messages that we need to hear at the time that we need them the most. So if you are tuning into this message from the future present, then that is fine too. Go ahead and allow yourself to collect what is needed the most for you at this time. Now let's go ahead and dive in. I want to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's clearly a little deviation in our plan today. Do you see the fact that these cards are already shuffled and pulled for and sitting out? The reason for that is yesterday, Monday, I sat down and was ready to channel, was ready to connect with the energies, look into the week globally and intimately. And when I tell you the energy was so chaotic, you guys, I debated with myself if I wanted to upload that energy, or upload the reading that I did, or if I wanted to try again today. And with that being said, I do like the reading that I did. I do feel like it was accurate, but it just felt a little off. So I left the cards and this kind of door open here, and I wanted to sit down today and revisit this reading. And I'm really glad that I did. I don't fully understand why the energy was chaotic. I think that it's predominantly a reflection of what's going on globally. I do want to always be responsible for the energy that it is that I bring, especially when I'm channeling, that I'm always giving and bringing the best of myself and my process and my gift to the collective, because I don't want to ever steer anybody in the wrong direction. And I feel really responsible for the energy that I bring here, and the time that we spend together. So I don't take it lightly at all. I do think that, and I will say, this is for full transparency, since Mercury has been, was transiting through Pisces, it was impossible for me to concentrate. And I don't know if that was a reflection of that yesterday, now that Mercury has entered into the sign of Aries. So anyway, I say all that to give you guys disclaimers so that you can use your best judgment and trust yourself, your own intuition. But let's go ahead and dive in. So the cards that are pulled definitely feel accurate and feel right. But the message, I want to go ahead and tap into the message. So first things first, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands, this energy for me, and I stand by what it was that I said yesterday. It feels very fated. It feels really karmic. There are sequence of events that we simply cannot control. Some things we have will on, some things we are empowered to shift things, and some things just need to happen. There are, I believe, many crossroads in our lives where, regardless of your choices and decisions, you will always find yourself at that point, at that crossroad, at that point, and that moment where you have to make a choice or a decision. In those moments, it's in your best interest to choose wisely based upon what your past experiences have shown you, have taught you, and also choose to connect with your angels, your guides, your ancestors, the divine, to make the best decision that they see and inspire you to take. You have free will at the end of the day. You can choose chaos, you can choose to go against their advice, or go against conventional wisdom. And then you get to live with those consequences. That's not a punishment, that's freedom. So I really stand by what it was that I was saying yesterday, the message of Wheel of Fortune, Three of Wands. It does feel like we're at this fated point in history, this fated point in this week. And I should say before I go any further that if you did not listen to the last 2 weeks messages for the collective, for the globe, I highly recommend that you do that and then catch up with the news. They are spot on. I'm not surprised by that. It's kind of my reputation to be spot on with my messages. Very rare am I off, and I'm not saying that to be like, cocky or anything, but it's to encourage you to go back and look and revisit and catch up so that you can see where we're at today globally. Anyway, so I do really feel like globally, and we're going to start with politics first and government and leaving out political beliefs and just talking, downloads here. With the Wheel of Fortune and Three of Wands, we globally are at a fated decision point. Regardless of our past decisions, I think that this would have been the outcome regardless. It's ultimately for leadership, the emperor, to make a choice on what's in the best interest for humanity or for countries, for peace. Three of Wands is the card of looking towards the future with expectancy, but I do not see this as something immediately coming in. I see this as having the wisdom, the maturity, the counsel, the experience to know how the choices and decisions that we make today, how they impact our future, and whatever you decide is going to you're going to see the results of it. It's not like a light decision. It's not like a light decision that it's like, okay, if I make this decision and I don't like it and I make a mistake, I can sweep it under the rug. With the Three of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, this is a fated choice, a fated moment in history that could change the future forever. This choice is coming from a ruler or from a person in a position of power, for example, a president. I see this as a president character. I'm going to leave out names and stuff like that just for the sake of not offending the world. If you like me to talk more candidly and open about politics and government and go deeper into these type of readings, then for what I highly recommend is my membership, BehatiLife Notes. There's no way in hell I'm talking about it so openly here on YouTube platform. I've been demonized and demonetized in the past during the virus times, was it? Yeah. And it wasn't just me, but we're not allowed. We are allowed, but you will get punished if you talk too openly on the YouTube platform. So you live, you learn, you do better. I've created my own platform on my website where I can say whatever I need to say without getting punished because I call the shots. Anyway, for that reason, the links for BehatiLife Notes will be down below. But looking at this card right here, Emperor, this is giving a leader of some sort, someone in a position of control and power. Now, if you were watching my videos from the past, you would have seen and heard how in the past, this same Emperor energy that was showing up was not really was choosing not to listen to counsel around them. They were making independent decisions like on their own with anyone who would support and rally that energy on, but it almost seemed like it was rubbing someone the wrong way or creating conflict for the people where they're watching this energy and getting either riled up, either anger or passionate and support, because there's a lot of divisiveness within those feelings. And we did see that pan out, specifically with Donald Trump and Zelensky and Vance. So I do feel like it's interesting to me, the Emperor and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. I do think that this person is still operating from a spontaneous, quick thinking, rational, like they are quick to make choices or say things that reflect choices that don't coincide with what the whole of the council agrees or has agreed upon. So with the Knight of Pentacles, it seems like there's something reversed. It seems like there's something due here. There seems that there's something that this Emperor now is expected to owe or give. Or I do see Knight of Pentacles reverse. The Emperor pulling back money, refusing to fund, refusing to give resources, refusing to invest in something of the future. And this is going to change history. This is going to change. This is a fated moment. Now, looking forward into the future, right? We have the Judgment card reversed and we have the Sun card. I guess I should have also said this. Actually. Like, this is my way. I have whimsical thoughts, like I kind of go all over the place between channeling and then going back into BFF Jess and my thoughts. In the beginning, I guess I could have said that I will move away from global predictions and then branch out into what I see for your intimate life. So I will channel for that too, but I'm going to start off with global first, okay? For those of you guys that are like, I can't talk about government and politics, I understand. I can include timestamps down below so that you can skip it if you don't like it. And I say this at like 11 minutes in the video, but I will remember for the future. But okay, going back to this reading. So with the Sun card and the Judgment reverse. Now, the Sun card traditionally represents happiness, joy, and optimism, and sometimes children in play. But if you study the tarot the way that I did, and if you are interested in that, Sacred Circle Tarot School will teach you how to look at the tarot from a deeper way, not just superficial, the Sun card represents happiness. The Sun card here in this situation doesn't, to me, represent happiness and joy and optimism in this reading. To me, it represents full exposure and seeing the consequences almost immediately from the fated choice and decision that was made here, right? What's concerning, I want to say, and I will leave it at that because I'm not going to talk further about that. That's for BehatiLife notes. But the concerning part is with the Judgment card reversed, there's a warning about not repeating the energy of the past. With Judgment card, it's oftentimes rebirth, renewal, but when it's reversed, that energy can be very zombie. It's like, why did we awaken the dead? Like, why did we need this to come back in this form when we should have accepted that this is not something that we want to repeat? This is not something that we want to reawaken. So I feel like this is going to be an almost immediate shift in awareness into being like, oh, wow, this is the consequence, or this is the direct result of from this choice, this fated moment, because it almost feels like if this is what you decide, then this is what you're going to get. So we are going to see very quickly what is going to be, where the outcome is most likely to look like based upon what is the deciding factors today, especially when it comes to a world leader withdrawing finances, resources, money. Okay. Let's talk about astrology real quick. I do want to point out to you guys that Mercury has entered into the sign of Aries. This was the 3rd till Monday. Also, Venus is currently retrograde. Venus does rule beauty, love, aesthetic, attraction, but it also connects us to our money and our values. And to go a little deeper, when we're talking about our values, Uranus, the planet of surprise, unexpected developments, and pivots, is transiting through one of the signs that Venus rules, which is Taurus. This is going to create a lot of upheaval and a lot of ups and downs, challenges as well as opportunity. But it's challenging our resources, it's challenging our values, and makes us globally and also intimately kind of reconsider our choices and our investments and how we move and what we're attracted to, right? Let me pull the chart up for you guys so you can actually see this. Okay. You'll see that I also pulled this chart yesterday because the date is there. So this is Venus right here transiting through Aries, and you'll see that there's a concentration of planets in the sign of Aries, right? We have Mercury, we have Venus retrograde, we have Chiron. Aries is ruled by Mars, currently transiting through Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal sign. Don't overlook the fact that don't assume that because it's an emotional sign and ruled by water, that it's powerless. Water is very, very powerful, or it's emotional and easily triggered. Is Mars the happiest and most comfortable in Cancer? No, definitely not. But it doesn't take away from its power and how easily provoked it is, oftentimes triggered, or it can be provoked and triggered, but activated into a sense of power. So I'm saying all this to tell you guys that there's a lot of passion and emotion and also faded moments that are happening, especially when it comes to money and spending, and how withdrawing money or investing in your money will affect the future. Now, really quickly, when it comes to our intimate and personal lives, apply this to your life when it comes to investments and spending in the present, but also plans for the future. For some of you guys, you're going to be looking into exploring money, exploring new jobs, exploring different ways that you can. There's so many wild parrots out right now, so if you guys can hear how loud they are. Yes, please enjoy. Also, we typically have like a flock of crows that land over the tree that's above my house, and they just call out. But they're not here right now, which is really interesting. They'll probably come in later on. Anyway, back to this reading. So it's showing in your personal life, be really careful, be really aware, be really cautious. Oh, as I said that, the crows are showing up right now. Yep, here they come. Right on time. They're like, is just shuffling cards and pulling charts again? Of course she is. Let's dive in with her. So Mars transiting through Cancer, squaring off with Chiron and the part of fortune. The choices and also who we partner with during this time, or who we separate from during this time globally, has an impact and reflects our values, but also has an impact on how our relationships change the future for the globe. So pay attention to any type of powerful shifts in relationship dynamics, alliances, especially with the part of fortune transiting through the sign of Libra. Alliances, who you partner with, and where that actually came from. Is that healing, or is it deeply triggering to the person that, or the country that we are separating from? What can happen here? Anything, and I'm going to leave it at that. So when it comes to your intimate life, I want to kind of like switch up, right? When it comes to your intimate life, it does seem like there's a masculine energy, or the masculine energy within you is stressed and pressed over finances and resources, or their inability to create a plan or stay on board with a plan, right? They may be overworked. They may be underworked, underpaid. There's something about this Emperor's security that this person feels they need to start working on. Like it's an impulse, it's a need, a big desire to begin to repair what's going on with the foundation, with the investments, with money. The good thing is that the Emperor does seem to have a plan, and the Emperor does seem to be rational enough to try to make choices, but it sees a problem, it sees cracks, and it wants to repair the damage of those cracks. Okay. This could represent a person, a masculine figure in your life. It could be watching your father wanting to rebuild a shed in the backyard that's been broken down because of sun and rain, and you're just like, wow, dad definitely has a plan here, and we just bring him lunch, like, because he is just out there focused, right? It could be your boyfriend working on their goals and seeing that there's something off with the spending and they want to fix it. They want to make it better. It could be your husband, your partner, who doesn't love their job and or sees that there's an issue or window of opportunity in their job, that it's problematic. They're trying to crack at it. So this could be you that sees, listen, I have a goal and I need to achieve this goal. This is going to be good and pay out for my health and for my future. I am not allowing any distractions in to pull me away from that. So this is really great. And from this opens up the door for this fated reaction to the seriousness that you are approaching to this goal or this project or this milestone that you or someone else needs to hit. And it's going to be almost an immediate response. From this place, you're going to see how your commitment, your loyalty is breaking a cycle or breaking a barrier that was stopping you. Also know that just as much as you could choose healthier choices or choose to be focused or choose to be ambitious, you could also be facing karmic choices and decisions that could set you up to repeat past lessons again. And when I use the word karma, I don't want you guys to automatically think of it as a negative thing, like, oh my God, I'm going to be punished. No, if you have good karma, or if you are making smart choices, wise choices, then you will see advancement, like you would go to the next level. If you have bad karma because you have poor intention in the past, you were unhealed and moving from a broken place, and you were hurting people and hurting yourself, then you are going to see the effects of that. Right? If you did not learn your lesson from the past, then you are repeated. Your choices and what you're attracted to and what you choose will make sure that you learn the lesson for better or for worse. So it ultimately it's up to you. I do want to say that be really careful if you are tempted to realign, especially with the part of fortune, bringing this back up, especially with the part of fortune transiting through Libra, with the Mars transiting through Cancer, with Venus retrograde in the sign of Aries. Be really careful and mindful about going back to an ex, going back to a husband that you should be separating from, going back to toxic relationships and behavioral patterns. Especially if this person seems like they're like, oh, I'm better, I have a plan, I'm reformed. The foundation says otherwise. With Knight of Pentacles reversed, this person cannot follow through on their promises. They cannot cash the check that their mouth, sold, So you need to have the discernment to know and see past what this person is telling you. What does your intuition tell you? What does past experiences tell you? What is your gut telling you now? What are your ancestors, your guides, and your angels referring to and trying to hint towards you, or loudly call into your ear, into your soul? Let's not repeat the patterns of the past. We need to free ourselves and make healthier choices for your future. Okay? So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. For those of you guys that are celebrating Mardi Gras in New Orleans, oh my God, love that for you. A few years ago, Mardi Gras time, I was finishing my book, and got it published. It is still doing exceedingly well on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and every place where books are sold. Thank you guys so much for the love, support. Some of you guys don't even know that I wrote that book. And for those of you guys that knew that I wrote that book and bought it immediately, thank you. It's so crazy because I wrote that book years ago and I've never opened it. Since I wrote it, I'm just that way. Like when I accomplish something, I don't rehash it. I don't go back and I don't look. But it's just so interesting now that, it's Mardi Gras right now. And now when I think about Mardi Gras, I think about that accomplishment and how much work and effort and all of my feelings tied, which it is a very bittersweet project for me. For those of you guys that love tarot and astrology, Behati Love Notes is the way to connect deep, deep, deep. Every day I pull the charts, I handwrite my horoscopes for that small collective, and every other day except Sundays and then sometimes Saturdays, depending, I give myself a break, I shuffle the cards and I channel messages for that group there. Yesterday was a Q&A for those subscribed and members only to ask questions about Venus retrograde. There's a lot of questions when it comes to relationships and investments. I've been answering those questions, and I'm also going to create a window today where I go back and answer those questions. Also, your horoscope is next to go up. So for those of you that for those of you guys that are subscribed to Behati Love Notes, go ahead and keep an eye on your inbox, your email, or check the blog spot, because you will see the latest prediction, and we are diving into the entire chart. So we started off yesterday talking about Venus retrograde because it's such a major shift. But today I wrote for the whole chart. There is a lot more that we need to break down. There is a lot of changes and shifts that are going to be happening globally, as you guys can see it here in the cards, and as I've been mentioning in the past, and as I've talked about in Behati Love Notes. So to be supported through that is essential, I really feel. One last announcement before I go. I've been getting a lot of questions about the shop reopening. Just why aren't you reopened? Why hasn't the shop reopened? Is it still closed? Yes. I've been quietly working on custom candles, like custom fixed candles and oils for my clients. Privately, quietly, those who have emailed me. For those of you guys that did that, your invoices were just sent out yesterday, and I'm going to be wrapping and packing your candles from the Aquarius new moon, as well as the intentions that were set in that in-between time. Thank you for being patient with me. For most of you guys, you do know that I'm a new mom, and really taking my time to be very all hands on deck with her with this transition into motherhood. It has really brought out the best of me and my personal life. And in order to bring out the best in my personal life and my health and the time with my daughter and with my partner, it has made my work second to that, when my work and my service to others has always been number one, even over my own family, to be honest with you. I don't think you guys know that. Like, I wouldn't show up for like holidays, Christmas, and New Year's and Mother's Days and stuff like that, so that I could focus on your magic and your intentions, making sure that you guys were good. So this is an opportunity for me to pivot, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets. So will the change be felt, and has the change been felt by the public? Yes. But I'm still there for you, just not in the same all-consuming way that I have in the past. And I really appreciate so many of you guys encouraging me through this. One last message before you go. I do have a pick a card reading that's going up, and I've been getting a lot of requests on Queen Bee Homestead Co., which is my second business, where I whip up body butters and garden and homestead, on BehatiLife here, and as well as my personal account, Jessica X Alexandria, where people are moms seeing me in new mom mode and being like, Jess, shuffle for moms. So I was just like, oh my God, say less. That's brilliant. A lot of it was coming, well, I don't say a lot, but there were many voices from Behati Love Notes, but a lot of voices from the collective and the larger audience. So I considered shuffling for Behati Love Notes only, but I felt like it was best to share with the collective. So for those of you that are moms, new moms, or moms of adult children that you still worry about, or fur baby moms, you have a reading coming that I didn't shuffle for, but I will. And I do have a special deck for that. Let's see if I can find it. It's right here. Hold on, give me just a second. I have a special deck for that, and I've already picked the cards out, the mom deck, that I'm gonna be shuffling and pulling for you from the Pine Torch. They don't sponsor this video, but I did pay for it with my own money from Etsy, from their Etsy shop. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I love all of you guys so much. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being understanding. And make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, because there's plenty more videos where it came from. For those of you guys that are subscribed to Behati Love Notes, you guys are next. I'm going to go ahead and send out your horoscopes and shuffle for you. And I will see every one of you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Bye.